Calling Britain's soccer chiefs to talks at number 10 to try to stamp out the kind of violence that disrupted last night's cup tie at Luton. 31 people were injured when Millwall fans went on the rampage before, during and after the match. In court today, one fan was sent to a detention centre for 3 months, another got a suspended sentence and a £750 fine. The Football Association have been asked to send a report to Mrs Thatcher. The Home Secretary has called for a police report. Luton, who won the FA Cup tie 1-0, say they won't play Millwall at home again. The police have admitted they weren't prepared for the number of Millwall fans who turned up.
The first batch of Millwall fans began arriving on commuter trains as early as 4:30, but the bulk of visiting supporters came on a series of football specials, which arrived just before 6. This one was badly vandalised with an estimated £45,000 worth of damage. By 6:30 there was a big crowd of visiting fans outside the Kenilworth Road ground waiting for the gates to open. 15 minutes later they stormed one of the turnstiles and thousands poured in without paying. At 7:15, even before the game started, they were clambering out of the visitors' stand and into the home stands. 14 minutes after kick-off, the referee halted play as more and more Millwall supporters spilled onto the pitch. It was during the next 25 minutes that the worst violence occurred, with police and fans fighting running battles. At 8:25, order was restored and the rest of the match went ahead. After the final whistle at 10-10, the Millwall fans stayed behind and vandalised the seating and the hoardings.
Luton Football Stadium this morning after some of the worst soccer violence the country has seen. 8,000 Millwall fans, far too many for the area allotted to them, spilled into a stand reserved for Luton fans, and the trouble began.
What started the trouble last night?
They're just a Millwall. They got on the pitch, right? And the coppers just let them go into the maple, let them come into where we were.
But there wasn't enough room for them, for all their fans.
No. I know, but they should have followed that before. They should have knocked them out of the ground, said there was no more room. You know what I mean? Or at least clear the space, but instead of just putting them in there where the Luton supporters are already. They should have cleared the space first, got the Luton supporters out of there, then put them in.
It was terrifying, just see them all charging down the field. It's like something out of Zulu.
Did you see any policemen being hit?
Yeah, there was one policeman laying on the floor and some Millwall fan was putting the boot in his face. It was terrible.
After the match, the fans rampaged through adjoining streets, smashing windows.
Everything was quiet, then all of a sudden
the windows went. Upstairs.
That went through your window?
Upstairs.
That went upstairs, and
that one.
That and that bit down there come through the bottom one. Did two goes at the bottom?
Them two at the bottom.
I've been here 50 years. 50 years I've been here, and that's the first time.
I heard them saying, we lost. Come on, start, grab anything, break everything and break everything you see in front of you.
I went to the gate to try and get assistance after the car windscreen had gone. Several windows had gone in the street. And as I got to the gate, I got hit over the head with an iron bar.
The cost of last night's soccer riot could top £100,000. Damage to the Millwall fans' train and the bill for transport police travelling with them is put at about £47,000. The police haven't yet counted the cost of policing the game, reinforcements and overtime, but the Police Federation estimates that'll run to between £20,000 and £30,000. Luton Town themselves saw seats, turnstiles and hoardings destroyed. The bill around £15,000. And in Luton, damage to property and cars is so far estimated at more than £10,000. The chief executives of both Luton and Millwall were called in for talks this afternoon with the Sports Minister, Mr McFarlane. He told them it was time to end soccer violence. They said they wanted government action.
In the long term, the problem has to be tackled, and in particular by the government, on the social disease, why young people behave in the way they do these days, and they're getting younger and younger, and that is the problem that has to be tackled.
What's your reaction to the fans and the behaviour that you saw last night?
Well, the same reaction that any other football club would have, one of sheer disgust. I mean, you must appreciate that our average crowd is about 5,000. Probably half of those were there last night. Those who were there, the regular supporters, would be as disgusted as anyone else. I mean, it wasn't so much Millwall or Luton losing last night, it was football, and football is bigger than both clubs.
The violence must stop. She wants a report from the Football Association within a week after the rampage through Luton last night. The local football club says the violence by Millwall fans was premeditated. Luton Town Football Club have said they believe the violence was premeditated and organised. And Mrs Thatcher told the Commons she put it down to lack of parental and teacher discipline and family background.
The worst violence erupted with the final whistle. Millwall fans invaded the pitch, ripping up seats and throwing them around. At first, the police were forced to retreat, but they soon regrouped and charged the hooligans. 35 policemen were hurt. One was knocked to the ground and stopped breathing. A colleague trying to give help was punched and kicked, but he successfully got him breathing again. Daylight and the full extent of the damage to the ground was plain to see. Ground staff were busy all day, clearing bottles, beer cans, nails, bricks and lumps of concrete from the pitch and the terraces. People living around the ground were also busy clearing up. Their windows and car windscreens were smashed by Millwall fans leaving the ground.
They come tearing down the road, about 70, 80 of them, and they've been up there. They used all the bricks and that for ammunition. They just come along and belted them through all the windows.
I shut my window, called my husband, and before we could get down, they smashed all my light.
How frightened were you?
There's a concrete. Look, there's some concrete.
How frightened were you?
Oh, what, 72? And my husband's 78, and he's frightened. Poor man. God, it frightened me to death.
As they come out of the ground, picked up anything, and they were just throwing it through the windows. As they come down the road, they've smashed car windscreens, the house windows. I've come out to try and for a bit of protection. I've gone to the football ground entrance to try and get some police outside. I got hit on the head with an iron bar, with resulting in 6 stitches.
One of the trains which brought the Millwall supporters back to London was wrecked during the 45-minute journey. A British rail spokesman said that workers used to seeing trains damaged by soccer fans were astonished by what had happened. They said it looked as though a bomb had exploded inside some of the carriages. Complete ceilings had been torn down and seats ripped apart. Luton Football Club officials met for more than 4 hours this morning, then announced that in future they'll refuse to play clubs which have fans that cause trouble, including Millwall.
We should not subject either the people of Luton or our supporters to that kind of incident in future, even if that means forfeiting the points of a game.
Outside on the pitch, Luton players, including goalkeeper Les Seeley, who had a knife thrown at him last night, were taking it all in their stride. After all, they did win and now go through to the FA Cup semi-finals.